Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats and welcome the director of the GANYC Apple Awards, Ms. Amada Anderson.
It is going to be a great evening, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. Yay! Round of applause. Such a great city, and it's such a great profession that we get to share with the rest of the world. Oh, any visitor that we have, they get to come here, and we get to share our home with them. It is such a great city. One of the greatest glories of the city is the world is right here. You name it, you will find it. Language, religion, cuisine, music, culture. You want to see the world, come to New York. Yeah. So we want to open our show tonight by inviting all of you to come home to New York. Woo!
Did we get off at the wrong train station?
Oh, geez, it's like we're not even in America. Oh!
You are in America. This is New York, the gateway to America.
Who are you?
I am a New York City tourist guide. My profession is to show people around, make them feel comfortable, and make them feel like home.
Amazing. I didn't know that was a thing.
It is. No matter where you're from, what you believe in, whatever food you like, there is always a slice of home in New York. So, come on to New York.
Oh! Oh, wow. Having a licensed tourist guide made all the difference in the world.
The city really came alive thanks to him, and it wasn't so overwhelming.
And it was beautiful.
More beautiful than we ever would have realized if we tried to see it on our own.
Yes, you need a licensed tourist guide. We have tourist guides that can speak your language.
从中国人最早来到纽约的时候，已经有100多年的历史了。
Это русский православный собор. Поколение за поколением русскоязычное население Бруклина увеличивается. Добро пожаловать домой! Nós estamos na rua 46, conhecido como Little Brazil, no coração da cidade de Nova York.
¿Quién sabe cuántos jóvenes beisbolistas del Bronx se pararán algún día frente al plato en Yankee Stadium? Ven a verlos. Ven a casa, a Nuova York.
Il ponte di Verrazzano prende il nome da grandi navigatori italiani. I primi europei di arrivare su queste acque più di 400 anni fa.
In 1609 werd het eiland ontdekt door Henry Hudson. In 1627 werd het aangekocht door Peter Minuit.
Den danske sømandskirke kom til Brooklyn i 1883 og har siden været samlingspunkt for danskerne i USA.
Come home to New York.
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 Come home to New York. Come home to New York.
I will never travel without a guide again. New York has opened my eyes and changed how I see the world. But there is no way that could have happened without our guide. I would follow him anywhere.
And now it is with great pleasure that I would like to introduce our producer of the GANYC Apple Awards, Miss Adrienne Cooper. So much for getting those heels on. Hello everyone, and welcome to the third annual GANYC Apple Awards. It is with great pleasure that we're here with you this evening. I've been a part of this committee since the beginning, but the last couple of years I've been in charge of the whole thing. And this year, I'm so fortunate to be able to be presenting to you our host for the evening, who is not only an amazing, talented superstar in this great city and in the world of show business, but also a dear, dear friend. Mark Nadler has been, he's been nominated recently as well for the Manhattan Association of Cabaret Awards, and he's also won 3 years in a row for Outstanding Musical Comedy Performer. He's been nominated for a Drama Desk Award by the Broadway World Award, and is the winner of the 2015 World Editor's Choice Award for Entertainer of the Year. He's performed all over this great city, and I'm not even going to begin to list the names of the places because we don't have that kind of time. But I'm just so delighted to have him here because I trust him with almost anything, and certainly with this show. So without further ado, please welcome Mark Nadler.
Hello! Welcome to the Apple Awards presented by the Guides Association of New York City. Do you still trust me? GANYC. It's so exciting. Tonight it's a little more GANYC, but we're not going to talk about that. Come homo to New York. I thought that's what I was doing here, honestly. I mean, really, I thought that's why they asked me. But it's fine. I'm happy to do this. I'm delighted to do this, as a matter of fact. I think it's a great thrill to be here. Let me just say right off the top that I have here the envelopes with the winners in them. There will be no announcing Justin Ferrate when the real winner is Lee Gelber. We're not going to have that tonight. We're not going to have that. La La Land wins nothing. I'm saying it up front. Nothing. And listen, La La Land shouldn't win anything. I lived in LA for 4 years, if you want to call that living. I know all about it. That town deserves nothing. I call it my lost years, like Jesus wandering through the desert. It's a horrible place. I spent 4 years just trying to get back to New York. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I told a friend of mine that I was moving to Los Angeles. And she said to me, look, when it's 112 degrees in New York City, it'll be 80 in Los Angeles. When it's 40 below in New York City, it'll be 80 in Los Angeles. There are 10 million fascinating people in New York City. There are 80 in Los Angeles. I have to tell you, right up front, I have to let you know, I know you're looking at me and you're thinking, my goodness, he's sophisticated. That's a New Yorker right there. That's a cosmopolitan guy. I know I can hear you thinking this. I can see you thinking this. The truth is, I was not born and or raised in New York City. How many of you actually were born and or raised in New York City? Oh wow, lots of you. Oh, that's really rare, like at least 30%, because usually most people, well, I wasn't. I come from, originally I come from, and I don't admit this to everyone. I have to tell you that since Adrian's a friend, I feel like I can just open up immediately. I come from Waterloo, Iowa. Obviously a bunch of people who have never been there. Iowa is our nation's pork state. For every human being in Iowa, somebody who likes pork, sounds good to know. For every human being in Iowa, there are 4.3 pigs. This is something that tour guides in Iowa have to know. 4.3 pigs for every human being, and I'm Jewish, and that's really all I want to say about it. It was so horrible. And so when I was 17, it was a very good evening. When I was 17, I came to New York City for the first time. I came here for a week, and then I moved here. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to be here. And this is why I'm telling you this, because I want you to know how important it is what you do. If I had had a guide show me around the city, I wouldn't have made one of the most embarrassing mistakes that I've ever made in my entire life, to this day. When I moved to New York, there was this commercial on television. Come back to Jamaica. What's old is what's new. And I thought, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And it was February, and I found out that you can get to Jamaica on the 7 train for just 60 cents at the time. So I swear to God, this is completely true. I put my suntan oil and my swimsuit. I got on the train. 2 hours it took to get there. I finally get out. I look around. I thought, boy, man, talk about no truth in advertising. This is. If I had had a guide, I would have known. This is how important you people are. You're very, very important people. Save a boy from humiliation is what you could do. Too late, you didn't. But I'll tell you what. Shall we begin this? Shall we let the games begin? Are you ready?
Yeah.
But before I start, I'm going to do this all night, by the way. I'm going to say that I'm going to do something, and then I'll realize something else is going to happen, and then I'll do that, because deep down inside I have what's called cabaret Tourette syndrome. So things will come out that I didn't plan in advance. I apologize. Anyway, how about that cocktail hour? Was that amazing? The food? The Moscow Mules in honor of our new president? Wasn't that fantastic? Adrian Cooper put that cocktail hour together. Shouldn't you give her a round of applause? That was amazing. It was so gorgeous. Oh, I'm so happy. But now I have to work. Okay, here we go. Our first award. Wait, look at this. Do you know how it's... And may I say, this black tie recommended thing at this party, black tie, what is it? Black tie encouraged. Many of you look so good. Any tie would have been fine. Any tie, pork man, would have been fine. Anyway. So I know that I have this mic, and I'm sure it works fine. See, if I use it like this, you can hear me, right? Yeah. But I'm going to use this one because I'm a homosexual. And this just makes me feel a little more Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? So, our first award is for outstanding achievement. Have I told you too much about myself so early in the day? If so, I apologize. I'll be straight by the end of the evening, I promise. Because God knows I'm not getting any here. Okay, our first award is for Outstanding Achievement in Support of NYC Preservation. That's important. To present the award, she is the president of the Art Deco Society of New York. He is the director of Park Services for the High Line. Please welcome Roberta Newsom and Tim Reese. Applaud until they get to the podium.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, how are you? Great crowd. Let's give yourself a round of applause.
This isn't the first time you've been here, Tim. You've been here before.
Correct. I was here 2 years ago. It was extravagant uptown.
Well, and you were the first winner in this category. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was an honor to accept on behalf of Friends of the High Line.
Tonight's nominees all have one thing in common. They care deeply about one aspect of the city's cultural infrastructure and have devoted themselves to preserving it in the face of new change.
From animals to folklore to the harbor to the neighborhoods, all of the missions are valuable and focus on irreplaceable aspects of our history and our legacy.
The nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Support of New York City Preservation are the Executive Director of the Historic Districts Council, Simeon Bankoff.
For the Bronx Zoo, the New York Wildlife Conservation Society.
Working Harbor Committee.
The Founding Director of City Lore, Steve Zeitlin.
And the GANYC Apple Award goes to
Simeon Bankoff.
They actually didn't tell me how long I have to speak, so I'd like to thank GANYC for this award. I'm touched. I probably should have. I was telling everyone I was going to go research Susan Lucci's speeches, but I missed on that one. New York City is incredibly important. I'm very thrilled to be honored by GANYC for this. What you all do to introduce visitors to the city, and in fact residents to the city, is extraordinarily important. I believe very strongly that the best way to understand history is to physically encounter it, which is why I do what I do and why I get up every morning and work with a terrific staff and a usually dealable with board of directors, all of whom are extraordinarily devoted and extraordinary people. I've been doing this for a long time. I started when I was about 4 years old, so that would now make me about 20. And I've been lucky enough to be supported by an amazing group of people, mostly my wife, Avina Allen, who's here. And pretty much everyone I know is because of preservation and because of New York City. So thank you all. Thank you, GANYC. This is amazing and wonderful. Thank you.
That was so exciting. Thank you for preserving. Next up, we have the award for Outstanding Achievement in Support of New York City. And then it says in parenthesis here, it says culture. Yogurt makers. She is the Bistro Award-winning star. Oh, she's fantastic. No, I actually know this person. This woman can sing like, she's got a voice like an angel. She looks like Grace Kelly. She's everybody that I've ever wanted to be. She's really incredible. She is the Bistro Award-winning star of In the Still of the Night, which was a show that she did at the Songs of Cole Porter, who loved New York. He is a two-time Broadway World Award-winning actor. He's fantastic too. We were changing down in the bathroom together. He's very, very handsome. And he is currently appearing in Cagney. So will you please welcome Shayna Farr and Bruce Sabbath.
Thank you, Mark. You know, Waterloo, Iowa's loss is our gain. They had extra ham there. They didn't eat so much. So.
Okay, Bruce. You know, when people talk about cultural tourism, I'm going to add that to my enunciation.
Cultural tourism.
Cultural tourism. You sometimes have to wonder what other kind of tourism is there.
I know, because when you experience a city, you are experiencing its culture, right? Whether it's high culture, or low culture.
Artistic culture or corporate culture.
Right, agriculture, horticulture.
Counterculture.
Right, exactly.
And tonight's nominees embrace such different, diverse aspects of New York City's culture as an island park, a pair of world-famous concert venues, and the subway system.
Although when you think about it, the concert venues and the subway system aren't really that different. I mean, have you seen the amazing musical performers, that they have on the subway platforms these days?
That's true, and the prices, the tickets are so reasonable.
That's true, and you don't have to pay those annoying convenience fees. So. Anyway, yeah. Right, the nominees for the Outstanding Achievement Award in Support of New York City Culture are the music director of the New York Philharmonic, Alan Gilbert. The former president and CEO of the Trust for Governors Island, Leslie Koch.
The tour director of the Apollo Theatre, Billy Mitchell. And staff attorney and chief spokesman of the Strap Hangers campaign for NYPIRG, Gene Rushinoff. And the GANYC goes to, for the Apple Award, Leslie Koch.
Accepting on behalf of Leslie Koch, Mr. Kevin Fitzpatrick.
Thank you very much. I'm accepting on Leslie's behalf for a few reasons. One is I wrote the Governor's Island Explorer's Guide. But more importantly, I rode in a golf cart with Leslie that she drove around the islands, and I've ridden on the fair with her many times. Leslie has done many, many amazing things before she retired last July. And if you enjoy Governor's Island for its whimsical nature, a lot of it has to do with Leslie and the work she's done with the Trust for Governor's Island. And I would encourage you to visit the island because it opens early this year on May 1st. I'll be sure this gets in your hands. Thank you very much.
Don't you love that the guy from the subway who works with the subway people, his name is Rushinoff? Everybody in the subway is Rushinoff, is my experience. I love names. I had this, my father's sister, her name was Gert. She weighed, and I'm not making this up. I don't make up anything. I tell it exactly the way it is and was. She weighed 427 pounds, and she was 4'11". And this woman, I'm not making this up, I'm not kidding. Her last name was Zeppelin. It's like Rushinoff. I love names. I love all of that stuff. I just, but anyway, back to the thing. But all that culture, that was so exciting. Well, are you excited? Or should we like bring the drinks in here? Okay, good. All right, because listen, I'll just go get the bartender. We'll set it up right over there, and then we'll be fine. Now, our next award is for outstanding. It does make me laugh that even though I have this, I'm using this. I'm just noticing. Our next award is for outstanding achievement in support of New York City, and it says in parentheses here, tourism. Now, when I met with Matthew Baker, I took him to lunch at Sardi's because my caricature was up at Sardi's, and I like everybody to see that. So I said to Matthew, well, let's go to Sardi's. And so I don't smoke, but I said to him, I did this when I was with him. So anyway, I took him to Sardi's, and because I wanted to glean information from him that I could use during this event. And he said to me, because I said, now this is presented by tour guides, right? And he said, no. A tour guide is a book. A tourist guide is a person.
Fuck you! I call them tour guides. A Jew is a person. A Jewish person shouldn't have been born in Iowa. It scarred me from the beginning.
And I'm going to use this, even though this little thing is here. Our next award is for outstanding achievement in support of New York City tourism. Our presenters are two high-profile members of GANYC, which after tonight they're going to change it to GANYC. We're just going to change it. She is the owner of Kristen's New York and a Brooklyn Experience. He is the head of guides for New York City. Don't come up yet. I don't want them to know it's you. Okay. He is the head of guides for New York City vacation packages and UK connections, where they really care about those verbal distinctions I was talking about earlier. Please welcome Kristen Singleton Ferrari and Tony DeSante.
Mark Twain said, travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness.
Gustave Flaubert said, travel makes you modest. You see what a tiny place you occupy in the world. And he said it in French.
How about Susan Sontag? I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list.
Or, it's better to travel well than to arrive.
Who said that?
Buddha.
Oh, really?
I kid you not.
Well, the point is that travel and tourism are always a good idea. Tourism is one of the top 4 biggest industries in New York and shows no sign of slowing down.
Yeah.
Good tourists keep themselves educated and keep us employed.
Oh, the places you'll go.
I know that one. It's Dr. Seuss.
Oh, very good. Tonight's nominees have all worked hard for years to ensure that visitors to our city experience it at its best light. Whether you're a tourist in your own town or you've come from halfway around the world, you owe a debt of thanks to each of them for their dedication to showing New York's best face to the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the nominees for outstanding achievement in support of New York City tourism are the Central Park Conservancy,
President and CEO, NYC and Company, Fred Dixon.
Elderman Hill Incorporated. I was just there at the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island Immigration Museum.
Luna Park, NYC.
right, Tony. The GANYC Apple Award goes to?
Central Park Conservancy.
Accepting for Central Park Conservancy, Mr. David Cobb Craig.
The Central Park Conservancy runs a very rigorous training program for its guides to show the park's 27 million visitors each year, the best of its 843 acres. I'm very proud to have graduated from that training program, and I'm also very proud to accept this award on the Conservancy's behalf. Thank you.
So it doesn't matter that he's not wearing a tie. No, because at Central Park they dig around in the dirt and they play with the animals, and now I understand, and I'm glad you didn't wear a tie. It's black tie, what is it, encouraged or something like that. And anyway, for Central Park, you can go naked as far as I'm concerned. I love Central Park so much. Oh, is this the next one? They gave me this script. I'm reading it on one of these pads, and so far I think it's going very well. Okay, moving right along. Our next award is for Outstanding Achievement in Radio / Podcasts. In parenthesis, audio / spoken word. Who knew? And to present, we have the host of Outtakes interviews on blogtalkradio.com. Please welcome Ms. Lori Baker.
Lighting, makeup, wardrobe. These are just a few of the things you don't have to worry about when you work on radio. You know, the occasional sudden fit of coughing or unexpected clatter from nearby can be a hazard though, but hey, that's all part of the adventure. With internet radio, podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and other waves of the future, obstacles to the art of spoken word are being removed, and anyone with a little talent and drive can give it a go. But you need a lot of talent and drive if you want to stay in the game. 3 of the 4 shows nominated tonight have stayed in the radio and podcast game for years, and deservedly so. And the one newcomer shows every potential for longevity in this slippery but rewarding field. The nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Radio, Podcast, Audio, Spoken Word are the New Yorker Radio Hour, WNYC. There Goes the Neighborhood, WNYC. Inside New York Tourism, Joseph G. Moriello. Z Travel and Leisure, WVOX. And the GANYC Apple Award goes to There Goes the Neighborhood.
Accepting for There Goes the Neighborhood is Karen Fillman.
Jim McGrady works with Karen Fillman. We're totally unprepared, but I know Barry Jenkins, director of Moonlight, and he asked me to deliver his speech. And I don't have a tie because we're in public radio, we can't afford a tie. We don't want to waste your money. Here's what I'll say, podcasting and shows like this are sort of being invented on the fly, and if anyone is doing it more creatively than Karen Fillman, I don't know who it is. You want to tell them how you do it?
No, only that I don't want to tell her because it's impossible to edit Jim and tell him how to do anything. But thank you very much. WNYC is, I think, 93 years old this year. It's a cultural institution that continues to reflect and really try to help New Yorkers understand the city that we live in, and I feel very honored to work there. I stumbled in 1979. I grew up in New York, and this program really is an interesting history of New York. If you haven't listened to There Goes the Neighborhood, it gives people a perspective over really 60, 70 years of how New York has changed and how the people in New York continue to make it vibrant and powerful and make it the great place that it is. So thank you so much for honoring us. We appreciate it.
There goes the neighborhood. You know, what you could have done is you could have taken the schmata off of her shoulder and just tied it around your neck. I'm just saying. You didn't have to, but you could have. I know on radio, who cares? And podcasts. Doesn't that sound like something out of the Stepford Wives? Anyway, our next award is for Outstanding New York City Website. This show is so fucking high-tech. It's incredibly exciting. And by the way, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, wouldn't it be sort of wonderful if I kicked over somebody's drink? Wouldn't it be sort of wonderful if the next time they put like the list, you don't have to do this, but I was just thinking it would be fun. When they put the list up on the screen, while the poor announcer is up there reading from a card, thinking that, you know, they're going to tell you who it is, as if we don't know who the nominees are because they're up there. Just read them out loud with them. I mean, maybe we could get like a big choral number going, which is what I was thinking. We don't have to, but I was thinking it would be fun. Anyway, meanwhile, our next award is for Outstanding New York City Website. Nowadays, this gentleman is a criminal justice advocate. Boy, does he have his work cut out for him. But as you may remember him as a contributing writer to Untapped Cities. Remember Untapped Cities? Yeah. Okay, so this is Tapped Cities. And this is Untapped Cities. And he was a contributing writer to Untapped Cities and the founding blogger at GANYC NYC. Please welcome Mr. Janos Dev Martin. Dressed magnificently, I might add.
To say the internet is everywhere these days is an understatement. We log on from work, from home. I see some of you are there right now. There are websites for news, for entertainment, for organizing our lives, and organizing campaigns. And by the way, I work on the campaign to close Rikers Island, which is one of the few places that guides don't go right now. But the hope is when we close it and turn into something great, you can bring our visitors there too. When you search for New York online these days, you get 2.8 billion hits. And tonight we are celebrating 4 websites that are being honored for their study and celebration of New York City. Whether the focus is real estate, history, nostalgia, or culture, each website brings the city into our lives on a daily basis and makes us feel a little bit more at home. So, is it up? Now we're just, if you guys want, you can talk along with me. The nominees for Outstanding New York City website are Beautiful New York, Matthew Baker, editor. Curbed NY, Amy Plitt, editor. Ephemeral New York, Esther Crane, editor. And Evie Grieve, John L. Sasser, editor. And the GANYC Apple Award goes to Ephemeral New York.
absolutely was not expecting this. I want to thank especially the Guides Association for inviting me and holding this wonderful event. I've actually started doing some tours and being a guide, and I just want you to know it is a lot harder than it looks. So you all should give yourselves a big hand. Thank you.
Oh, stop. May I just say that I'm over here sort of praying to myself that Curbed New York is a website about dogs. If Ms. Plitt is here, will you please take that into advisement? Because I have to walk on these sidewalks. It's hell. It's just hell. And guess what, kids? We are more than halfway done. Can you believe this night is just flying by, isn't it? The Oscars take 3.5 years and they still can't get it right. We are zipping it off. Up next, to present Outstanding Achievement. Oh, now this one is very important. No. Sit up a little bit straighter. Stop yawning. Outstanding Achievement in Food. Now you're interested. Now we care about this. Please welcome the founder of Scott's. Oh, I love him. I'm so excited about this. This man is going to prove to you that not every wiener is a dick. Please welcome Mr. Scott Wiener from Scott's Pizza.
Wow, I was waiting to see what joke would happen, and it wasn't the ones that I thought it would be.
No. We're Anthony, I don't even know how to pronounce it. No, we're not going there. Pizza is what it's about.
No relation.
Scott, now wait a minute, are you Jewish?
Yeah.
And you have Scott's Pizza? It's like not Scott's
I know there's a lot of confusion.
Please explain.
I know there's a lot of confusion.
We have extra time, we're zipping through it. Explain yourself.
I know. I'm not Italian, I'm not obese, but I'm professionally obsessed with pizza.
Yeah!
And guiding tours has allowed me to do that, so my mind has been blown for the past 9 years that this is a thing that can happen. And I'm exceptionally honored to be announcing this award because, well, there's something that happened last year at this event that I want to address. I heard a rumor that there was a vote by applause for which was the better iconic New York food, bagels or pizza. And I heard that pizza did not win. So, since I'm at the mic, we're gonna do a revote. This is legal. Talk to Matt Baker. So, if you think bagels are the more iconic New York food, please make some noise. And believe me, I like a good bagel. But if you think pizza is the more extreme, important New York iconic food, make noise, please. Wow. Well, look at that. A real recount. And this one's official. Pizza it is. But, and you know, it's funny. I saw the list of nominees, and I looked over it, and I thought, there's no pizza. I mean, there's a glimmer of pizza on this list, but the thing that all the nominees have in common with pizza is they're all historically significant, they're all iconic, they're all important, and they're all probably places that you've either sent groups to or you've taken groups to. They're all very important. None of them have pizza, but I still am honored to announce the nominees for the GANYC Apple Award for iconic New York food. First off, for seeing it through to the bitter end, the Carnegie Deli.
Yay!
For making hospitality history. Give it up for Danny Meyer. And of course, for existing for 100 years, Nathan's Famous. Please give it up. And last and certainly but not least, for raising New York's cholesterol for 88 years, Eisenberg Sandwich Shop. And the GANYC Apple Award goes to Nathan's Famous. Now, this is apropos. Nathan's Famous could not make it, so I, as a person who's professionally obsessed with pizza, with the last name Wiener, humbly accept the award for Nathan's Famous. And I want to thank all of the buns out there. Thank you.
Best. Scott Wiener, wasn't he great? This is so much fun. I'm having a ball. I have to tell you, a friend of mine took me to dine at Daniel. You know that? Very expensive. Daniel, it's French. Très français. And I swear to God, this really happened. We're sitting at the table, and because it's Daniel Boulou, and I found out, in fact, that boo is pronounced differently than you. Because boo is O-U, which is oo, and L-U-D is you. So it's boo-you. And we're at Daniel, and a dish comes out, and I asked the waiter, who had a very thick French accent, may I please have some pepper? About 40 minutes later, he came back and he put a writing pad in front of me. I said, what's this? He said, but that is your pepper, monsieur. My friend and I stayed, because this is the way we get back at New York City chefs. We stayed till they closed. We didn't leave. We stayed. Bring us another one. All night long, finally, place is closing down. I see the guy, the waiter, the French waiter, outside smoking a cigarette with his friend, and I swear to God, this is what he said. So, you know, like, I couldn't believe that this fucking guy was asking for pepper when we got a chef that looks like this. New York City dining, you know what? Trust me, stick with the hot dogs. Stick with the pizza. I love what Mike Dillinger said. He said, what about pizza bagels? Right over your head. Okay, doesn't matter. It's fine. We only have 4 more. It's fine. We're getting along here. Presenting the award for Outstanding Achievement in Photography. He is noted sartorialist about town, working at Alan Flusser Custom, whose musings and videos can be found on his website, The Whole Cloth. Please welcome Mr. Andrew Yamato. And here he is.
Hello, everyone. I have no business being on this stage whatsoever. I am not a tour guide. I'm not a photographer. I represent no institution or organization. I know Matt. Most of you know that. We both have daughters. Same names, different spellings. All right, let's see.
But you're wearing a bow tie.
I am wearing a bow tie. Well, you know, I accept encouragement, you know. All right, so New York is a city of images. Black and white, color, abstract or realistic. The visual depictions of the city are New York for the many visitors who come to see the real-life version of what they've seen in print or on the internet. This year, we lost one of New York's greatest photographers, the legendary Bill Cunningham. He said, the best fashion show is definitely on the street, and indeed it is. That street has been an inspiration for so many photographic images, including the 4 that are nominated tonight. 3 different boroughs are depicted by 3 different artists in 4 unique, beautifully composed images. The nominees for Outstanding Achievement in New York City Photography are, for Bronx Casitas 5, Nathan Kensinger. For Coney Island 10, Paul Kessel. For Manhattan Bridge, Mike McLaughlin. And for Port Morris 3, Nathan Kensinger. No relation. And the GANYC Apple Award goes to Paul Kessel.
Well, my biggest hope was I would actually lose, because to speak in front of an audience is my biggest fear. But I'll be very brief. I would like to thank everyone here, and how they found one picture I took, I have no idea. And with all the millions of images out there, why they would choose a picture by me, I don't get it. But I think it's great, and to win something is really nice. Thank you.
Look at how spectacular it is. It's so gorgeous. That was so charming. I'm afraid to be in front of people as well. I just want you to know that I'm overcoming my own kind of fear up here. I feel good about the way it's going. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is good, okay. You know what I'm a little disappointed in? I mean, can I be honest? We've now been through many awards together here tonight. It bothers me that when a name is said, even if you don't know them, and even if, like, you're the competition, can't you just applaud long enough to get them to the goddamn microphone? I mean, what, are your hands tired? This is like playing the Hebrew Hook for the Aged. What's wrong with you people? Just applaud until they get, I mean, I'm not insisting, but it would be nice. I mean, Porkman, you know, just please. We already gave up on the tie thing. I mean, can't we have something here? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Vice President of the Guides Association of New York City, Ms. Nina Mendez.
Great guides need great cities, and great cities need great guides. But for all this interdependence, the fact is, great guides need each other. That is why GANYC exists. And it is why the Guiding Spirit Award exists, to celebrate a guide who has been a mentor, a cheerleader, a teacher, and a friend to his or her colleagues and to the profession at large. He has written and published books and articles that other guides have studied and learned from. He spent 20 years fighting for our city's history at the Landmarks Preservation Commission. And along with others, I, as chair of the GANYC Education Committee, personally benefited from his genius in leading fam tours and professional development programs and being a guest speaker for our organization. And these wonderful programs have included studies of 42nd Street from east to west, the advent and rise of the World Trade Center, the art of office lobbies, including the Woolworth Building, urban genealogy, and Grand Central Terminal. The name of this brilliant historian and quintessential New Yorker is Anthony W. Robbins. GANYC was founded in 1974. 2 years later, Tony Robbins finished graduate school and became co-chairman of walking tours for an organization called Friends of Cast Iron Architecture. And a legend was born. He has led tours for the Municipal Art Society, the 92nd Street Y, the Organization of American Historians, the Academy of American Poets, and the 1992 Democratic National Convention, just to name a few. And on top of that, Tony looks more dashing in a wide-brimmed fedora hat than either Humphrey Bogart or Harrison Ford ever dreamed of. Tony is also a co-founder and past president of the Art Deco Society of New York, for which he created the tour program in 1981, and which he continues to guide sold-out tours to this day. GANYC Apple Award winner Christopher Gray of the New York Times has said of Anthony's history writing, "It's difficult to find anything as accomplished." But never mind what other people say about Tony. Let's have a look at the master guide himself. Let's see his own words and his relationship with this city.
happens. I even have to forget it. Just want to say this is such a wonderful honor because it comes from my peers, my fellow guides. I don't know what to say other than thank you. And to say that GANYC is a remarkable organization. A former president of the Municipal Art Society once said to me that when MAS was getting its guide program together, that they were going to organize walking tours, and then they discovered that walking tour guides can't be organized because they're difficult, irascible personalities. They know what they're going to do, they don't want to hear it from you, and that's just the way it is. And he was absolutely right. So then it's remarkable, really, that here is GANYC, organized entirely by volunteers, every last one of them a guide. And look what they've done. It's 43 years old. They get stuff done. They're reasonably organized. I mean, it's, you know, I don't want to push it here. But they have insurance. You know, you don't think about these things if you're not a guide. Liability insurance. They send delegates to international guide conventions. But really what they mostly do, and it's Nina Mendy, who you were just listening to, who really is in charge of it right now, they do these remarkable educational programs. Guides lean on each other in this organization, and they prop each other up, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And I think that's all I really want to say, except that two things, I guess. To GANYC, thank you for this honor, and thank you for doing all that you do for New York. And to those of you who aren't guides, go take a tour with some of the most interesting people you're likely to meet and learn something new about this remarkable city. Thank you.
So fantastic. I mean, can you imagine the confidence it takes to put the Empire State Building on your wedding invitation? My dad had a picture of a shack from Minsk on his. The dick jokes are going right over your head, ain't they? It's fine. It's okay. I'm a cabaret entertainer. This is all we do. Cole Porter songs and dick jokes. This is my life. Anyway, and sometimes I do music by Richard Rodgers, so it's dick songs and dick jokes. It's like... Anyway, next, we want to recognize. Oh, this is Miss not written very well, but I'm going to fix it. Next, somebody we want to recognize is, no, something we want to recognize is outstanding achievement in New York City book writing. And I'm talking about fiction in this particular case. She is the author of the YA novel. What's YA?
Young adults.
Okay. I don't know, it's been so long since I've met any. She's the author of the young adult novel set in New York City, The Girl Who Could See. Please welcome Ms. Carrie Morris.
There are 8 million stories in the naked city. Some of them make it into print and into bookstores. Of those, some even turn out to be pretty great. But the amazing thing about fiction is that it often touches on a deeper truth, a greater truth, than any work of nonfiction documentary writing ever can. While the great journalists give us the facts and figures of a time and a place, novelists give us a peek inside the human heads and hearts of the characters we learn to know and love. Whether it's a work of poetry, mystery, character study, or dishy gossip, the greatest New York City novels all have one thing in common, and this is surely true of the 4 nominated tonight. The city is a character in the story, just as much as any of the people who live in it. The nominees for Outstanding Achievement in New York City Book Writing are The Dollhouse by Fiona Davis, Murder in Morningside Heights by Victoria Thompson, The Swans of Fifth Avenue by Melanie Benjamin, and Sweet Bitter by Stephanie Dandler. And the GANYC Apple Award goes to Victoria Thompson. And I've heard Victoria is not here this evening, could not be with us, so GANYC will accept this award on her behalf. Congratulations, Victoria.
Yay! Murder in Morningside won! Oh my God!
And now we have, we're going to recognize outstanding achievement in New York City book writing, nonfiction.
You guys are big readers, I see.
Okay, please welcome the author of Scandalous Women, the lives and loves of history's most notorious women, Ms. Elizabeth Carey Mahone.
Walk into any bookstore, into the New York local section. What do you see? Everything. History, architecture, pop culture, movies, food, politics, the neighborhoods, you name it. This inexhaustible city continues to inspire scholars and students to look beneath its surface and share their findings in print. Go virtually anywhere else in the US, and you'll quickly say, I've already read a book about this city. Maybe 2. But Gotham keeps on giving, and the hunger for knowledge and understanding of what makes this city and its people tick never dies. The nominees for Outstanding Achievement in New York City Book Writing Nonfiction are The Bowery Boys, Adventures in Old New York by Tom Myers and Greg Young. Food in the City, New York's professional chefs, restaurateurs, line cooks, street vendors, and purveyors talk about what they do and why they do it by Ina Yaloff. Governor's Island Explorer's Guide by Kevin Fitzpatrick. Storefront 2, A History Preserved, The Disappearing Face of New York by James and Carla Murray. And the GANYC Apple Award goes to the Bowery Boys!
Thank you, GANYC. Greg and I are really honored to be here and to receive this award, especially from you. We talk every 2 weeks or so into a microphone. You talk to people every day. and you look at them in the eyes, and you bring the stories that we try to tell as well, but you bring your own stories to life in real time. And that is, I think, what this is all about. And you really bring the spirit of the city to life. I don't know, I'm blabbing, go ahead. Oh wait, I was supposed to thank the people responsible for the book. They include our editor, Casey, our publicist, Courtney, and the guy who got us the book in the first place, the publisher, Keith, and also our book designer, Thomas Kebu, who also designed our logo and Greg's logo for his spin-off show, The First.
I wanted to say that it was almost 2 years ago to the day that we got the contract for this. During the course of writing, we almost killed each other. I lost hair, I got some bad acid reflux, and I can't see anymore.
You already have that.
Yeah, I can't really see anymore, but I would do it all again. The experience of just going through every single neighborhood of Manhattan was one of the greatest pleasures of my life. It was a wonderful book to produce with Tom. We were so grateful that you liked it, because you guys are reading it closer than probably anyone else. So this is a wonderful honor. And by the way, the other books in this category are tremendous. Everyone, go get all 4 of these books. And by the way, not to do any log rolling, but Kevin, who wrote the Governor's Island Guide, is in our new show on Algonquin Roundtable. And have him sit at the round table with him, and you will remember it for the rest of your life. So thank you all for this honor.
Yay! Yay!
They're so cute. I just want to breastfeed them both. They're just adorable. I loved when he said he had bad acid reflux. I was thinking, because I live, your guide, so you'll understand this. I live in Riverdale, where the Hebrew Home for the Aged is. I always say I'm planning ahead. I'm just, when the time is right, I'll just crawl there on my lips. But people will all often say to you, say things to me like, doesn't it bother you that you're a cabaret performer? I mean, wouldn't you rather do something a little more hip? People say this to me, Steve, I swear to God. And I say to them, I live in Riverdale. I'm not so much hip as hip replacement. And so, thanks to that recipient, I'm now going to also say, and I'm not so much badass as bad acid reflux. It just came to me. Okay, maybe it's not so good. I've tried it out on you. Anyway, we now have the award for Outstanding Achievement in Essay, Article, and Series Writing. Now, she is the editor-at-large and travel writer for National Geographic. He has served as critic and editor for Backstage newspaper that gives the Backstage Awards, the Bistro Awards, that Shana Farr won, that I won, that Steve Ross won, that Martha Sanders. It's a big deal, Backstage. And he's one of their critics. And he's the editor of the critics, no less. God, he's going to lambaste me after he sees this thing tonight. But he is the founder of the Critics' Choice Tours. Please welcome, well, she actually couldn't be here tonight, but who needs her? He's a critic. Please welcome David Sheward!
Oh, shit.
Okay, bad mark's right there, Mark. Okay. Kidding.
Try to do it without me.
Just kidding.
Try to write reviews without us.
Thank you. Oh boy. See what I have to put up with. Just for the record, I'm no longer with Backstage. I'm with some other websites, but journalism. It gives you the chance to travel, explore, and get paid for it, sort of. And writing about what you see, hear, and taste. It also gives you the chance to be called the lying, dishonest media by Oompa Loompas in high office. Enemy of the people.
I write about the most intrinsic of New York institutions, the theater, and it gives me the chance to enter other worlds entirely, whether I am in the troubled mind of Hamlet, tilting windmills with Don Quixote, or just being alive with the cast of Company. I emerged from every show different from when I went in, and a lot poorer. The 4 nominees tonight have all explored the culture of the city in the hopes of finding a new way to look at it, a new understanding for it, and a new love for it to inspire their readers. Like those who have come before them and those who will come after, they find New York an inspiration for their curiosity, their scholarship, and their hard work. The nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Essay, Article, Series Writing are... Well, go ahead. For Camera Obscura, Curb New York, Nathan Kensinger. For Even in New York, Nature's All Around Us, If We Want to See It, Edible Brooklyn, Ariel Lauren Wilson. For his contributions to The New Yorker, Ian Frazier, I was trying to be Montague and For a walking tour of 1866 New York in the footsteps of 150-year-old guidebooks, Curb New York, James Nebius. And the GANYC Apple Award goes to James Nebius for a walking tour of 1866 New York in the footsteps of 150-year-old guidebook, Curb New York. I have been informed that Mr. Nebius cannot be with us, so just like Tony Danza on that Emmy Award show where he accepted all the Emmys a couple of years ago, I will accept this on his behalf.
The Tony Danza tap dancer.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Enjoy the evening.
Fantastic.
I don't even care that you're not at backstage anymore. You are delightful. That was so much fun. Am I the only one here having a blast? I think this is a ball. Are you having fun? I mean, really? Just loving this. So, we're down to our last envelope.
All right, so you're really not having fun. You should have gone, oh, not yet. No, instead you sat there and went, but if you're not having the time of your life here at this awards ceremony, there's something wrong with you. But if it's possible that that's the case, you can have the time of your life at the after party, which is going to happen at Jake's. I don't want to say this on mic because I'm not inviting everybody. But at Jake's, which is around the corner between 22nd and 23rd on 9th Avenue. So I hope I'll see most of you at Jake's after we finish here tonight for the after party.
I know. I'm dating myself with that dance, ain't I? Well, I have to date somebody. Anyway, he led the Guides Association of New York City, otherwise known as GANYC, bid committee. Oh, and by the way,
if you didn't like the results of what happened here tonight, if you wish somebody else had won, and you're sitting there seething because your person didn't win, first of all, there are no winners here. There are only recipients of the Apple Award. But if you would have preferred to have a recipient other than the recipient that came up, God, it's so hard to be gay and say words like recipient. But if you would have preferred someone else, don't gripe, don't moan. Volunteer for GANYC, and you get to pick who wins. Next year, all of you could choose the winners to go. Oh, she's yawning. Okay, It's just that I know you don't think you just don't think that I can see you because you're used to watching television, but we can actually see you when you go.
Anyway, he led the GANYC bid committee to Iran.
Did you hear about this? What happened? Did you hear?
Did you hear what happened in Iran? 4 fucking votes. Do you know about this? Do you know what happened? This is the World Federation of Tour Guides. They wanted to have it in New York City. They went to Iran to bid for it, and they did this fantastic presentation. I mean, it was just stunning, stellar. They were loving it. I mean, you have never seen girls selling big apples in birkas like this. It was spectacular. They lost the bid by 4 votes. Okay, not New York City. Where did they choose instead? Treblise!
Tre-fucking-bleezy! Because it has castles.
We have White Castles. Because it was the day, the reason they lost by 4 votes, because it was the day that our new esteemed president announced his travel ban. In Iran, they took the vote. Timing is everything, trust me. Get out of show business. That's the moral of that story. But they lost by 4 votes. It's such a nightmare.
Tbilisi? Georgia? You want Georgia? Go to Atlanta. Tbilisi?
Anyway, he led the GANYC committee to Iran in their efforts to host the next convention of the World Federation of Tourist Guide Association, and he is the chairman of the Multilingual Guides Committee. Please welcome Mr. Abrahimadiano!
Keep clapping! He took the fucking pictures! Clap for him! Oh, you're not giving an award? No. Oh, Jesus, did I fuck that up? Give me this back. I'm sorry, this is a really serious part too, so just pretend I was serious.
We all know and we all remember that 2016 was a difficult year for many of us. In the world of politics, entertainment, literature, academics, and so many other fields, our hearts were broken with many losses. The news shows and news feed near the end of last year were filled with comments on how they wanted the year to come to an end. So when we say goodbye to our favorite New York people and places, to those wonderful and inspiring institutions and personalities that we lost last year, we already know that there are going to be many of them. New York was not spared last year. And some of us are still nursing broken hearts from those who we love, who are no longer with us. So as we say goodbye one last time, we would like you to show the same amount of love to everyone who departed, whether they were major celebrity or just colleagues to some of us. So please hold your applause to the end of the in memoriam.
I'm sorry, I was so lighthearted going into that because that was really beautiful. That was really beautiful. I'm devastated to find out that the Troll Museum is gone. I mean, where are they going to put the Dick Cheney Memorial Presidential Library? Is this, am I like gonna give an award now? Is this like, do I give the envelope now? I don't wanna make that kind of mistake again. Matthew? Is this an award person now?
Yes.
Okay. Because that was serious. That was a big bad mistake. That was like, I now know what it feels like to be Warren Beatty. And may I say that this is the first time in my life I've ever been able to say that? Although my sister thinks she's 8,000 years old too. But she looks it. But anyway, she is the Vice President of Education and Evaluation at the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum. He is the founder and curator of the Museum of the American Gangster. Stick 'em up, baby. Please welcome Linda Kennedy and Lorcan Ontway. Come on, kids.
Coming from a long line of writers, I've been making notes on this up to the last moment, so I have to put my glasses on. I love museums. Today, when so much of the world is falling to the wrecker's ball, and many of us, and many, I should say, none of us, many people overuse the word random, displaying artifacts within their context and within the context of our various institutions. This mission is more important than ever.
And to make a living in the field, to specialize in a certain piece of history or art or culture, and to be able to say, that's how I feed my family, is a real privilege and an honor.
You feed your family?
Yes, I
Would
do.
Would you like to adopt 2 more? Seriously. Even though my museum places historical context for a group of people who live in a world of secrecy and use horrific violence and intimidation to take what they want.
Congress?
No, gangsters.
What's the difference?
Well, my museum does actually commemorate incredibly brave men and women who put their lives on the line every day for the safety and progress of their fellows.
Tour guides?
No, but I like the way you say it.
The nominations for Outstanding Achievement in New York City Museum exhibitions are...
For America to Zanzibar, Muslim Culture Near and Far, the Children's Museum of Manhattan.
For Hidden in Plain Sight, Portraits of Hunger in New York City, the Brooklyn Historical Society.
For Jacob A. Reese, Revealing New York's Other Half, the Museum of the City of New York.
And the winner is...
Oh, wait, you got one more.
Oh.
Don't you leave this one out!
Oh, yes! Another page.
Slide it again.
My mother would kill me for this. The Yiddish Theatre, from Bowery to Broadway. She's, by the way, the first cousin of Manny Goldberg, who grew up to be Edward G. Robinson.
Wow.
The Museum of the City of New York.
And I say the GANYC Apple Award goes to Jacob A. Reese.
I was the guest curator of the exhibition. I was the curator of prints and photographs at the museum. In 1987 to 91, when I first started working on Jacob Riis's photographs, so it's been a journey. And so thank you so much for this award. It's been a privilege to work on such a great New Yorker. And he's also a Danish immigrant, and the show right now is in his hometown of Ribe in Denmark.
Huh.
So,
Wow.
And I have to say, I didn't know very much about this organization. I've had a great time and learned a lot and have like a reading list and all sorts of things, and you've been really fun. Thank you so much.
Nice? I love that. Now that's a speech. That's a speech. Thank you so much. I will next be appearing, in case you're wondering, at the Museum of the City of New York. Doing the Jacob Riis songbook. It's a very short show, but I'll be doing it. I don't need to read this. We're going to give our final award of the evening for lifetime achievement to somebody. When I first came to New York City, that first week when I told you about, I was here for a week before I moved here. During that week, at that time, I was going to school in Michigan. I was in high school. I went to high school in Michigan. And the school did this off-campus senior trip, and we went to New York for a week. My dream come true. I used to, when I was growing up in Iowa, I used to climb to the top of my yellow swing set when I was a little kid, hoping that I could see the Empire State Building from Iowa. Iowa's very flat. I thought it was possible. I always wanted to be in New York. From the moment I came out of the womb, I came out of the womb. I said to the doctor, I'm where? Don't bother to slap me, I'm awake. I always wanted to be in New York, and that first week, I was in New York, and we were going to all these shows, and we went to a place called Ted Hook's Backstage. Do you remember it? You see how it goes? I mean, 25 years from now, somebody's going to say the Troll Museum and nobody will clap. Once it closes. But there was this fabulous place called Ted Hook's Backstage, and there was a man at the piano. And I was there with a bunch of kids from my class, and he said, well, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Iowa. And he started playing something from the Music Man. Oh, there's nothing funny about the Iowa way to treat you when you treat you. I said, but I go to school in Michigan. And he started, how I wish and wish again. Wish I would. I thought, this man knows a song. If I were to, no matter where I'm from, this man knows this song. I was so stunned that this was a possibility. And then like 10 years later, I was living in New York, and my partner, for my birthday, took me to the Algonquin, to the Oak Room at the Algonquin. I didn't know that I would eventually be playing there. I mean, this was like, wow, the Algonquin, the Oak Room, and we went. And this man was playing that night, and he found out it was my birthday, and he sent a bottle of champagne to our table. He didn't know me. I hadn't fucked him. I mean, this was... I couldn't believe it. I'm playing in a dive. I'm playing in a dive on 59th Street on the east side. He came to hear me. It was like my idol coming to hear me. Since then, it's been some decades. And if I want a song and he knows it, he gives it to me. He is the most generous, kindest, most wonderful part of New York. The best that New York is. I have never heard this man say a mean word about another person. Not one mean word about another. Do you know how hard that is? I couldn't do it. And I'll tell you what, to give this award, this Lifetime Achievement Award to him, there is no one who is more fitting, and I'll tell you why. She is one of New York City's top cabaret singers, and she is one of New York City's top tour guides. She was, I think, the second woman ever to win Manhattan Association of Cabaret Awards for a female vocalist. She has won countless awards. She has a new act that she's been doing called Follow Me at the Laurie Beachman Theater. It's sensational. She's going to be doing it again in October. Please go. If you ever hear that this woman is singing, you must go. Treat yourselves. You'll be so glad you did. And also, she is my go-to guide. When I have friends in the city and I want to show them a really special time, I hire her to take us around and show us different parts of New York. And my friends are always amazed. They're always thrilled. There is no one better on the cabaret stage or as a tour guide than the great Marta Sanders. And this is Marta Sanders!
Hi, everybody. What a fun night, huh? It's great. So I have the honor tonight of giving this award to the man that we didn't say his name, but I'll say his name, but I'm not bringing him up yet, Mr. Steve Ross. Yay! When I was asked by Nat to give this award, I said, what is it that GANYC thinks equates to the Lifetime Achievement Award? And he said, first, it recognizes someone who is unique to New York City. From Prohibition to World War II, New York City was the capital of cabaret and glamorous nightlife. Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, Frank Sinatra, Judy Garland, Lena Horne. After the Stonewall riots in 1969, the gay community revived the nightlife scene. I met Steve Ross in the early 70s. We were both performing at cabaret rooms here in New York City. Steve Ross became known as the Crown Prince of cabaret. With his princely reputation of presenting material from the great American songbook, Tin Pan Alley, the Brill Building, Irving Berlin, Jerome Kern, Harold Arlen, George and Ira Gershwin, and of course, Cole Porter, who was a resident of the Waldorf Towers for 23 years, and he composed on his piano that he named High Society, songs and musicals like Anything Goes, I Get a Kick Out of You, and You're the Top, You're a Waldorf Salad, to name a few. With his material, Steve Ross rose to fame after he held long residences at the Oak Room, the Algonquin, and Ted Hook's Backstage. He went on to sing and play his beloved American repertoire at smart clubs and swank parties in the most glamorous hotels around the world, like the Ritz in London, the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo, and he was the first American artist to perform at the Ritz in Paris. A multi-MAC award winner by the Manhattan Association of Cabarets and other prestigious awards, Steve has hosted and performed a live cabaret series on BBC TV and NPR radio. 8 years of concerts and lectures about this music at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Mr. Ross has performed off-Broadway in his own tribute to Fred Astaire called I Won't Dance, and on Broadway with Frank Langella and Noel Coward's Present Laughter. Steve performed at the keyboards and played the role of the Cockney valet. Lifetime Achievement also recognizes commitment to community. So I went to the leader of the cabaret community, K.T. Sullivan, who besides being a cabaret star, She now runs the Mabel Mercer Foundation. This is the organization that produces cabaret concerts and conventions nationally and internationally. When I asked her what she thought were the qualities that made Steve Ross the best person to receive this award, she said, and I quote, "The first time I was taken to the Oak Room of the Algonquin, it was to see Steve Ross in a Cole Porter show. Being from Boggy Depot, Oklahoma," I think I pronounced that right, B-O-G-G-Y. I kept thinking it should be Boogie. Same thing, I'm sure. I felt I'd stepped into a movie set in a more genteel and sophisticated New York. It was the 80s, but I felt I was on a magic carpet ride to the mid-30s, with Mr. Ross in his white tie and tails spouting bon mot and tinkling the ivories with classic melodies. Salute l'artiste, salute Steve Ross. It is my honor to present the 2017 GANYC Apple Award for Lifetime Achievement to my friend, Mr. Steve Ross.
That's very kind, I must say. Well, thank you very much. It's been a very illuminating evening, and you know, I wasn't born in New York City, I was born in New Rochelle, as a matter of fact, 45 minutes from and, but I actually first came here, how do I put this, 70 years ago. My mother thought it was time that I got serious about the piano when she found a graduate student at Juilliard, which was then, of course, as you tour guides know, uptown, and there I went. And so I saw New York in the 40s. I got a big taste of it. My own tour guides were my aunts who took me to Rockefeller Center for the first time. And I can remember, I was just thinking tonight as I came down the various high points of my early life, seeing the city and enjoying it so very much. I had a great memory of my grandmother taking me to watch General Douglas MacArthur. Had just been let go by Harry Truman. And he was driving out of the Waldorf Towers in his car. Matter of some reason we went there. And all these places that I've been working in New York for 47 years. And someone said when I first came here, well, look, you might be broke, but you will never be bored. And this is absolutely what I have found to be the case. I have been broke, but I have never been bored in instance. And since I have a pathologically low level of boredom, that's really quite something to think about. So what I'm trying to say is that I have enjoyed making music, helping the soundtrack be helped of these great songs that we've had from the Transatlantic Songbook, and they really are the soundtrack of New York. And most recently, we think of Rhapsody in Blue, the Gershwins, from Woody Allen's wonderful song, show Manhattan. Speaking of Woody Allen, I had a bunch of little sayings I was going to say, but I did read one. I'm allowed to say this, I hope, Mark. Woody Allen said, "The last time I was in a woman, it was the Statue of Liberty." So that's the last time you're going to hear that. But I'm honored that I have had the chance to work all these years and sing all of these songs in this city that I love. I worked on the West Side, I worked on the East Side, and downtown and uptown, and I hope to continue to do it as long as I am upright and the vocal cords work and the fingers work, because I love this city. It's, as I said, it's never bored me for an instant. I found loves here, I found jobs here, and I hope, found a bit of a future. To end my little remarks here, I thought the best thing to do would be to sing you a song that I think should be the song for your wonderful organization. Nat and Mike were so kind to think about me. This is a song, see what you think. This is New York, so color it nicely. Don't look too closely or too precisely. Never forget it will only take a few pastels to cover each mistake. This is the west side, color it brightly. This is the east side, color it lightly. Make every brownstone a fading brown that you can erase when the brownstone tumbles down. Color Park Avenue silver and gold. Make 57th bright. Use all the colors in your coloring book when Broadway glitters at night. This is a sunset, color it glowing. This is a river, color it flowing. There's a skyline, here's a child. This is a town on which a rainbow smiled. Color the plaza in crimson and wine. Cover the park in snow. Make all the carriages a stately black and make Fifth Avenue glow. And when you're finished, it will look pretty. Isn't New York a colorful city? But if you lack a coloring book, just go outside, open your eyes and look. Thank you.
Steve Ross. While you're clapping for people, will you please clap for the men and women who did the sound, lights, and AV tonight? Thank you for such a great job. Will you please clap for Matthew Baker, who directed this extravaganza? Will you please clap loudly and hard for Amada Anderson and Adrian Cooper, who produced this extravaganza? My name is Martin Adler. It's been an honor to be with you tonight. Let's go party at Jake's. Good night, everybody.